Hey, you guys, welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. If you're new, my name is Sarah, and I'm so glad you're here. So today is kind of different from what we are normally doing. We're not in the kitchen canning or out in the garden, but we took a bit of an impromptu road trip. My uncle turned 79 recently, and my mom really wanted to see him. And so we went to Oklahoma for his birthday. We got to see him, we got to see my mom's sister as well, some of my cousins. Like, it was just a really nice time while we were there. But since we were doing this, we decided we were going to take kind of a roundabout way home, and we came home through Missouri. We got to see my niece at college, and then we went and stayed with one of my mom's first cousins. They live on a farm in the middle of Missouri. And y'all, I love these people so much. They're my cousins too, I guess, but you start getting into that whole first cousin once removed thing, and it gets confusing to me. But I just love when we get to go spend time with them. And I don't know about you guys, but the last few weeks have just been really hard. You know, there's been so much sadness and ugliness going on in the world, and getting to be on a farm, kind of commune with nature a little bit, be with people I really love. It was just such a balm for my soul. But I also got to do some amazing, fun things that I've never done before. So I thought I would share some of that with you guys. And then I'm going to show you what they brought home with me. So why don't you take a look at some of what I got to do while I was in Missouri? I don't think I could ever get tired of this view from their deck, looking at these beautiful rolling hills and seeing the cows grazing in the pasture. It's just so lovely. I took a little walk closer to get down closer to this cow. She was definitely curious about what I was up to with my camera. Step out on their deck and you look at this pond. It's having a hard time holding water at the moment, but over their vineyards, it's so beautiful. I've never been here before in the summer, and so I really enjoyed just walking down the driveway and looking at the grape vineyards. When I've been here in the past, it's been brown and no leaves, and it's just so beautiful.
Oh, that looks like asparagus.
Our cousin Orion asked me if I wanted to go pick some apples, and so we loaded up and went over to his son Mark's house. And y'all, look at how full this tree was of apples. I'll show you how many apples I came home with, but the tree just was still full when we were done. We spent a couple of evenings sitting on the deck watching the sunset, but on this night, I just sat out there with Orion and we were enjoying it, and it was just so glorious. I wanted to share it with you, even though all I had was some photos. We were there, they were harvesting corn, and we got to see it being unloaded into the silo. Let me tell you guys, Orion is 86 years old and retired, but you would never know. He's just the most active man I've ever met in my life. Orion drove us down to see his son Mark driving the combine in the cornfield and harvesting the corn. I've always enjoyed watching farm equipment from a distance, but it was pretty cool to see it up close. And here in just a second, you'll get to see just how up close I got to be.
Y'all, I don't know how well you can hear me. I'm standing on my cousin's combine in the cornfield and getting to go for a ride. It's so fun.
Cousin from Michigan was down here, but while he was in college, I mean, he grew up on this farm, kind of, at least during the summers. We started out in Iowa, then we had two combines. They were about half this size.
We have morning glory in our garden at home.
And it's only here because I obviously missed spraying it.
Getting to ride in the combine was one of the highlights of my trip. It was not something I ever thought I would get the opportunity to do. I had so much fun. My cousin Mark explained lots of things to me about the harvesting and how the combine worked, and it was just so fascinating. After this, we actually went to St. Louis for about a day and a half. We got to see my nephew play in his football game, and then we came back, which had not originally been in the plan, but I'm so grateful that we had this opportunity. I didn't know at the time, but mom recorded a little clip of me riding in the combine, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. It's a little bit fun to see myself up there in that cab. We got up early on Sunday morning and drove back to the farm so we could help with the grape harvest. This was their last variety of grapes that they needed to harvest for the year. These are called the Norton grape. And you just have a whole bunch of people out in the field with 5 gallon buckets, work your way down the rows and pick all the grapes. It really is as simple as it sounds. But we got back there about 11 in the morning and maybe about 5 hours worth of picking. There were people who were out there from sunup until we finished around 3 in the afternoon. But we had a great time. After spending the day picking grapes, Orion and I actually spent the evening on his paddle boat fishing for crappie. We had so much fun. I didn't take any footage because it was just nice to be in the moment. But we had a fish fry the next day. My cousin Amanda walked me over to her garden to show it to me. There you could see her beautiful loofah plant, and here's her tomatoes. She told me to come over and pick as many as I wanted because they have harvested all they need for the year.
Look at this fall garden, y'all. All these squash and green beans and beautiful cucumber plants on the trellis. Y'all, different states, same pests. Look at my cousin Amanda's tomatoes. And look who I just found. Ornery hornworms.
Now that you guys have seen some of our time at my cousin's family farm, I thought I would show you what they sent us home with. Y'all, look at all these apples. My sister-in-law took a big bowl of apples out of here, and I've already made one batch of apple butter. This tote was completely full when I came home, and it is a 66 quart tote. So my cousin Orion grabbed 3 5 gallon buckets when we went to go pick apples, and I didn't realize they were all going to be for me. This is a lot of apples, and I am so grateful for these. I will make the absolute most of them, but I have a lot of processing to do. I also came home with a nice box of tomatoes. Orion and Barb's granddaughter, Amanda, said, hey, just go over to my garden and pick some tomatoes. We have picked more than what we need, and so just go get some. So look at this nice box of tomatoes I have. I picked some green ones so we could have some fried green tomatoes. Orion makes his own wine out of the grapes. Most of the grapes go to local wineries, but he picks enough to make his own wine. And so this is actually not a grape wine. My mom really prefers his blackberry wine. And so he sent us home with 2 bottles of that. There's the apple butter that I already made. Also picked a little bit of the corn so we could have it for decoration. So I have 2 more things I want to show you guys that they sent me home with. One of them is grape jelly. I actually got to make this with my cousin Barb, and I was very excited to do that because I've made a bunch of jam, but I've never made jelly before. And so that was very exciting. But even more exciting is it's from grapes from their vineyards. These are Chambourcine and Norton grapes that the juice is from. The Norton grapes are actually what we were harvesting in the video. And so I just think it's super neat that this came from their farm. And then cousin Amanda also sent me home with loofah seeds. When we were looking at her garden, I mentioned to her that I learned this year that loofah is not, there's not just one kind of loofah, there are many. And typically you grow a specific kind for peeling and using for the loofah as a scrubber. It turned out, do not have that kind of loofah in my garden this year. I have some footage I'll probably show you in the next video, but the loofah that I have is so hard to peel. My fingers were so sore and it took a really long time. It doesn't just come off in a sheet like the kind of loofah you see most people peeling in their videos. And so live and learn, but Amanda has a ton of loofahs on her plant and she'd already peeled one. And so she sent me home with a whole bag of seeds, which I just thought was really gracious and generous. So next year we'll plant the right kind of loofah. But yeah, they sent me home with so much stuff, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at my trip to my cousin's family farm. I had a wonderful time. My mom had a wonderful time. And yeah, next time we will be back to more normal content. But I just wanted to share this really little peaceful interlude that we got. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye.